Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third and final part of our broadcasting here today from the home of champions, Karting Genk in Belgium. This world-famous, renowned international playground for kart drivers from many, a pantheon of, well, within the pantheon of motorsports globally. Originally the home of a certain Max Verstappen, who we wish the very best of luck this weekend. But Tom Lenoir has been graciously able to provide us with this wonderful onboard, which gives you a 360-degree view from a kart perspective of the circuit here at the Limburg region of Belgium, not too far off of the German and Dutch borders. It really provides a good insight into the technicality of the circuit, from sweeping corners that require commitment, hard braking zones that need for you to be brave on the brakes, and also having that lead right foot to get the acceleration out of the corners. And more to the point, it just goes to show where the overtaking spots are here at the circuit, especially through there, as we've just seen at turn number 9. And then the run down through to Cafe Corner at turn 10. 3 corners to go. A slight left at turn 11, slight right here at turn 12 before you go into turn number 13 and then apply the power once again. And that is once more the onboard with Tom Lenoir from Dams Racing, the current points leader. So, time to get underway with the first of 4 finals here on day 1 of the final round of the season. It's Minimax and Minimax Rookie, the final, up next. Now we head to the dummy grid, and there you see it's an all Sam Pollitt Racing lockout on the front row. Riley Morrow and Austin Oman on the front row of the grid.
Ja, morgen hè?
Ja, zeker. Maar alleen dan moet je wel echt aankijken. 5, 4, 3, 2.
So let's take you through the starting grid for our first of 4 finals. Riley Morrow starts on pole position, and Sam Pollitt Racing teammate Austin Oman lines up alongside. Mick Klinkers and Finn Albert Jorgensen round out row number 2. Gillian Dummer and Logan Rolfe round out row 3. Dean Habits and Harry Radcliffe next up, ahead of Jensen Walker and Dimitar Lazarov. After that, it will be Teddy Murphy, Jan Wozniak, Leonard Koster, Ben Valke, Arlo Gamble, Trent van Melk, Milo de Kalsmaker, Leon Herboz, Jack Klim, Milos Baginski, Julian Janssen, Matthias Verreken, Leo Livings, and Theo Freya, rounding out the 25 plus grid on this. Well, 24, and you include all the drivers, everyone out on circuit. It is going to be 12 minutes plus an additional lap. Now with Tom Reed not here, now who is someone's slowing down. It's the 171. Teddy Murphy for SFR has gotten out of the car, and Teddy Murphy, that is a real shame. Teddy Murphy is not going to start this race and is going to be classified in 24th. And 24th, that'll be 29 points. And the youngster from SFR, head in his hands, sitting at the marshal post. That is a real shame. That is at marshal post number 7. As always, big thank you to the marshalling team here at Karting Genk for expediting to getting the 171 off of the racing line, and meaning that the race start will have to go ahead, but with one participant not able to continue. With this effectively at this moment in time, it becomes a 3-horse race between Austin Amman, Riley Morrow and Mick Clinkers. Leo Livings, I think, will probably be more than likely out of the championship permutation come the end of today. But it is going to be the case of, can we get the race start underway first time of asking. They will now head into the tram lines. Revs rise. We go green. And let's see how the start pans out. Morrow's going to lead them through into turn 1. Amman to the outside of Clinkers. Clinkers still holds on. Amman is possibly going to lose out maybe. Well, he's lost out second. That's going to put him behind Mick Clinkers. And that is going to shorten the gap to 17 points. Oh, dearie me. Finn Albert Jorgensen getting his elbows out. Has a little bit of a touch with the sidewalls of Julian Dummer. But now at this moment in time, leading the way is going to be the 122 of Riley Morrow. Austin Amman in P3. But here goes Mick Clinkers up the inside. Takes the race lead. And that is also going to change the dynamic of the championship. At the moment, before drop scores are taken into consideration, you look at it this way. Austin Amman is going to be on, I think, effectively 360 points. Riley Morrow, 340. Mick Clinkers will move to third in the championship standings on 327, which means that the race tomorrow will decide the championship. Austin Amman yet to secure a ticket to Bahrain. Clinkers and Morrow have already done so. So there's two things that are going to have to be in clear consideration. Who has got a ticket and who hasn't. Also about who has, not who is in the fight for the championship. So the first lap in the books, or the second lap in the books. We're on to lap number 3, and Austin Amman trying to see if he can get through. Riley Morrow goes towards the outside. Can he get the crisscross here through turn 3 on Mick Clinkers? Clinkers shuts the door and says, no, you've got to do better than that. Amman to the outside at turn 5. And now all Clinkers is squeezing Morrow. Morrow's going to make a gap here. Through at turn 6. And through he goes. Oh, and Austin Amman gets through. Finn Albert Jorgensen tries to get through. Oh, absolute robustness from Riley Morrow. That is how you go for the lead when you need to put that opportunity for a possible title push firmly in your, the advantage firmly, hopefully, in your direction. But the big thing is, Mick Clinkers is now, that's effectively going to put him on 49 points, because now Finn Albert Jorgensen, and now it's all kicking off. Oh, Austin Amman has now got the race lead. Riley Morrow now down in what is third position. And that's going to put it 338 to Morrow, 365 to Amman. But when we get to tomorrow, then the championship points take on a new dynamic. You then add the drop scores in. Then you also have to see how that race pans out. Because even if Austin Amman does not win the title, but look at, oh, Riley Morrow. Oh, another storming move from the youngster from Sam Pollock Racing. And he's going to go through for the race lead. 2 corners, he made 2 moves. And Finn Albert Jorgensen now leads. Clinkers back in it. Well, Stone the Crows Julian Dummer now up into P3. And the two SPR teammates are 4th and 5th. Oh, how's about that? A turnaround for the books. So Mick Klinkers currently in 2nd position. 52 points. Riley Morrow 4th. That is 49. And then 48 for Austin Amman. That still puts it 21 points between, well actually that makes it 34 points between the top 3 before drop scores are taken into consideration. But there is still plenty to go in this race. 5 minutes down, 7 to go. 199 now gets a warning flag. And there goes Riley Morrow up the inside of Julian Dummer to take away 3rd position. But it just goes to show that some drivers will never give up. They will put every single fibre of their being, mentally and physically, through the ringer if they have to. Riley Morrow now gets a warning flag from race control. Now it might have been for the move on Mick Klinkers going into turn 6. But now Finn Albert Jorgensen leads the way. Mick Klinkers in 2nd. 3rd is Riley Morrow, who's being hounded and has got Julian Dummer up the inside. Dummer's going to get the inside line for P3 unless Morrow can do something about it. And then Austin Amman dives up the inside of the driver on the Formula K from Germany. And then there is Harry Radcliffe. Mick Klinkers, new fastest lap of the race, 58.901. So Finn Albert Jorgensen and Mick Klinkers have pulled away. They've got a gap of around about 6.5 tenths of a second between themselves and Riley Morrow in P3. So Riley Morrow needs to start gritting his teeth, getting his head down and bring along those behind him. And all I'm going to say on that front, look who he has got behind him. And when you think about it, behind Riley Morrow, Julian Dummer, well, Riley Morrow is Austin Amman, teammate. Then you've got Julian Dummer in the 185 Kraft Motorsport. Finn Albert Jorgensen at the front end of the field is leading the way and also sets the new fastest lap, 58.844. So behind Julian Dummer, Harry Radcliffe, 113, Sam Pollitt Racing. Jensen Walker, 125. Sam Pollitt Racing. What am I going to say here, folks? Strength in numbers. And Julian Dummer has got is the meat in a triple decker sandwich right now, because he's got Riley Morrow and Austin Amman in front of him. Behind him he's got Harry Radcliffe and Jensen Walker. 4 karts from Sam Pollitt Racing, and that is in the top 7. And what they will do, they will have known over the years what they've been taught. Work with your teammates. But then if you do need to battle, you leave it right until the last moment. So Finn Albert Jorgensen continues to lead ahead of Mick Klinkers. Riley Morrow, Austin Amman, Julian Dummer. Right, there has been a couple of changes. What's been going on? Jazz hands Leo Livings. Now, he's showing up now as... is he showing up in 6th? Well, what has happened to the 2 SPR teammates that were behind? So, Harry Radcliffe. Harry Radcliffe has tumbled. So, A very, very dramatic opening sector for Harry Radcliffe, and that has dropped him way down the order. Leo Livings, Mr. Jazz Hands, is now currently running in 6th position. So this is where the change is afoot. Things will happen over the next few laps as we have 2 minutes and 15 seconds on the timer remaining. Now, looking at it from this way, from the finals that we've had so far this season, final one at Genk, season opener in March, Riley Morrow. Final 2 that weekend, Austin Amman. Final 1 at Marienburg, Riley Morrow. Final 2 at Marienburg. See a pattern coming here. Austin Amman and Riley Morrow, between the two of them, have won. Well, Riley Morrow's cleaned up on Saturday. Austin Amman swept the dust under the carpet on Sunday. So Sam Pollitt Racing have been unbeaten in the finals so far this season. But at the moment, the person who's leading this race is the driver that was not with us at Marienburg, but he is currently 13th in the championship. That is Denmark's Finn Albert Jorgensen. Mick Klinkers hasn't been in the top 3 all season long when it comes to the final, and now runs second. So we've more than likely got around 3 laps, including this one, left to go. And no matter what Riley Morrow and Austin Amman are trying to do with working together, time is not on their side. Because they still have this and 2 more laps remaining. We are currently on lap number 12 out of a potential 14 tours of this 1.36 kilometre clockwise 13 turn circuit. So Finn Albert Jorgensen, it is going to be close. Comes through out of turn 12, out of turn 13. He is going to cross the line pretty much with next to no time to spare. 2 laps remain. Timer hits 0. Finn Albert Jorgensen, he's got to hang on for 2.72 kilometres. That's a total of 26 corners combined. And now Riley Morrow and Austin Amman, they are starting to close. Julian Dummer might not be out of this yet, but he's a bit further back. Riley Morrow, purple in sector number 1. He just set the fastest lap of the race, a 58.609. Our leaders coming through the final sector as we speak. And then Finn Albert Jorgensen, Mick Klinkers, they took a very quick look over the right shoulder. Last lap underway. Finn Albert Jorgensen, the man from Denmark. Ran with first race point a little bit earlier on this season. Now has joined the ranks of KR Sport for this weekend. And it has paid dividends for the man in 13th in the championship. There's still just over half a lap remaining. But can Finn Albert Jorgensen hang on? Oh, Mick Klinkers to the inside through turn 5. Jorgensen runs wide. And now the scramble is on. Finn Albert Jorgensen, he tumbles from first to 4th into the clutches of a certain Julian Dummer. And now Riley Morrow leading the charge. A handful of corners remain. Can the winning streak for Sam Pollitt Racing and Riley Morrow on Saturdays be broken through into the final corner? Amman with a lunge, and it's going to be Mick Klinkers that wins the final here on Saturday. Well, Mick Klinkers, congratulations. You've broken the Sam Pollitt Racing win streak all season long. And finally, Mick Clinkers has done the business, has been outside of the top 3 all season long. And after 19 kilometres, 14 laps of racing, the Dutchman does it. Powered by mum and dad indeed. That's definitely that young man's good luck charm on the back of the race helmet. He wins after 14 laps by nearly 0.3 of a second. Ahead of the driver, Riley Murrow, who up until today had been dominant on Saturdays. And with that, let's run you through the last of the running order, the finishing order. Riley Murrow, Austin Oman, complete your top 3. Finn Albert Jorgensen was so close. So close in that one. Julian Dummer, Logan Rolfe, Jazz Hands, Leo Livings. Well, Jazz Hands, you've done it again. 23rd to 7th. Congratulations. Then Jensen Walker, Dean Habit, Dimitar Lazarov rounded out the top 10. Jack Klim, Sven Van Melk, Leon Herboz, Jan Wozniak, Harry Radcliffe, Arlo Gamble, Leonard Costa, and then Ben Falke, Julian Janssen, Milo de Karlsmaker rounding out the top 20. Theo Frere from Ireland and Milos Baginski rounding out the 22 finishers. Unfortunately, with 4 laps completed, we lost Matthias Verdaken and Teddy Murphy out on the very first tour. But Mick Clinkers wins the Minimax final on Saturday, breaking Riley Murrow's streak that started back on the 8th of March. Next up, well, we're going to be heading to our next respective contingent of drivers. Up next, it's DD2 and DD2 Masters, the final. So, one final down, 3 to go. And more importantly, this is where things could make all the difference. Now, in comparison to what we've just seen from our Mini-Max and Mini-Rookies, effectively, Arlo Gamble, all he needs to do is finish tomorrow and he becomes our Mini-Rookie champion. But it is going to be very, very close with what happens with Mini-Max tomorrow afternoon. However, a different side has emerged after the pre-final. But it's up next. It's the DD2 and DD2 Masters final for day number 1 here at the Home of Champions. And more to the point, this title battle in DD2 has gotten a lot closer with what happened in the pre-final. So we are going to have a champion, but it's going to be dependent on who will be that person. So here is your starting grid for the final for day 1. Len Noyes and David Maslakovic will be on the front row. Gustavs Uzakovs and Wout Kirstens round out row 2. Christophe Capita is going to start 5th in DD2 5th overall, and pole position on DD2 Masters inside of row 3. He'll have Lawrence Herbos to his outside, Mats Johan Overhoff, Gute Besserung am seine Papa, Hans Gerd. I know you're watching, my friend. It's been too long. We need to catch up soon. Get well soon, buddy. Mattis Ankans will be joining him on that row. Vincent van Kerkhoff and Axel Hoos round out the top 10. Kian de Brandt, Marco Trittenpreis, Ralf van der Paver, Dimitri Ostrovsky, Wim Rouleau, Jacob Malamis, Nicolas Guillaume, Louis Koch. Then we've got Antoine Babarou and Michael Becker. Michael, unfortunately, retired from the race on the opening lap, it seemed. So, well, with 12 laps left to go. And goedemiddag, Tycho Holthausen watching along on the stream. Oh, even with drop scores, well, this could be very, very interesting what happens here, but I'll take the drop scores into consideration for tomorrow because we will have a cracking finale on our hands for this. It's Len Noyes. Oh, Jakob Malamis is missing in action. Let's see what transpires over the next 15 minutes plus an additional lap. Juniors and seniors left to go before we conclude day number 1 out of the final round of the season. Revs rise and the lights go green. We are underway here for day 1, round 4, and Len Noyes sweeps to the front of David Maslakovic, covers off Gustav Zusakovs, and that was smooth as silk from the man from Belgium. Usakovs now up into P2. And do not tell me that... Is that Christophe Capita? He got to 3rd. Oh, Marco Drenprice is between a rock and a hard place at the moment. So this performance by Christophe Capita kind of reminds me of RS Competition's Nikolai Christensen. And there's a change between... I think that was... Lawrence Herbos and Wout Kirstens. Oh, someone's running a little bit slow. Mattis Ankans coming out of the final corner. And, oh, Wim Rouleau's on the naughty step. He's got a slap on the wrist. Warning flag for the 554. And I'm wondering if Louis Koch has also hit trouble as well. Not been an easy one for Louis. Coming back after 3 months away. Mats, he's been running in the Rotax Max Challenge Germany. 2023 was when he won in Bahrain. He had to correct me on that one. So Wim Rouleau, Louis Koch, and also Jakub Malamis are also out. But Len Noyes leads the way. Gustav Zusakovs, Christoph Kapita, P3. I never thought I'd be saying that. But stranger things have happened. I'm not going to mention a name about a particular individual I know in the road tax racing family, DD2 Masters. If you know, you know. That's all I'm saying. But Christoph Kapitan's got a real good turn of pace. He's actually catching Gustav Zusakovs for P2. And then the foreboding of doom. Dun, 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 dun. David Maslakovitz rounding out the top four. And Maslakovitz decides time to dive up the inside of Christophe Capita. Takes third away from the Frenchman in the 5-2-8, running with RM Concept Power, Morgan Riche's team. And there is hang on, is there a little bit of a squabble going on? Yes, there is. Lawrence Herbos through on Wood Kirstens. And Mats Johan Overhoff. Might as well just don't hassle the Overhoff, is all I'm going to say on that one. Another reference to German pop culture. Antoine Barberou has been making some steady progress, but not steady enough. But this is a 15-minute final, plus an additional lap. We'll have that with the seniors a little bit later on. But in some cases, at this moment in time, you have to use a little bit of savoir-faire, a little bit of common sense. And what I mean by that is, you do have to try and get the best out of yourself, but also the carts underneath you. So with limited amount of tyres available per driver, limited sets thereof, limited chassis, limited engine usage that you can have, like say one chassis, 2 engines, you've got to be very, very much in the thought process of mechanical sympathy. But sometimes when you tell a driver, look after the cart, then as soon as the lights go out, the red mist comes down and it goes out. But at the moment, as things stand, Len Nyes continues to lead. He's got a 0.6 of a second advantage at the moment. Antoine Barberou now P12 and climbing. I'm sure, well, I see some of the team from RM Concept Power on the mechanics gantry coming out of the final turn. Barberou's just posted a 54.005. And Barberou again, fastest overall in the opening sector of the circuit. Getting held up by some drivers that he feel might be a little bit slower. There's Mats Johan Overhoff coming through the final corner. He's chasing down Wood Kirstens. And another fastest lap. Sub 54 for Antoine Barberou. 53.958. He was doing that. He's done that quite a lot when he's been racing. He's a very, very quick peddler. Is the 402. So 6 minutes down, 9 minutes plus an additional lap remaining. And everyone in the top 11 on that last lap sets a personal best, or in your case, Antoine Barberou, set the fastest lap of the race. So at the minute, Michael Becker currently running P2 in the DD2 Masters classification now. And at the minute, with regards to Dmitry Ostrovsky, oh, he's at the tail end of that field, so that drops him. A couple of points, which means, including drop score for DD2 Masters, this is how I've worked it out. It's 272 for Christophe Capitan, 256 for Michael Becker, Dmitry Ostrovsky, 246. So effectively, Christophe Capitan has to have an absolute nightmare tomorrow. But Michael Becker, as I said, time and time again, he's been the bridesmaid, never the bride. He's been there or thereabouts. Michael Becker has not won a final this year in the DD2 Masters classification. And now Christophe Capitan says to Antoine Barberou, his RM Concept powered teammate, well, anything you can do, I can do quicker. And he just went and did that. And with a 53.957. Barberou now up 10 places, is ninth behind, well, he's now ahead. He's just got to quickly pass through on Ralph van der Pavert. Brother Mika is on the tools in the SP Motorsport warning. Hello, Mika. So he's getting his hands dirty for a change, is what I said to Ralph. Oh, right, dive to the inside. Maslakovitz. That is a place lost by the pole to Gustav Uzakov, so now they start squabbling. And Christophe Capitan will just hold, well, I'm hoping we'll hang 10, hold back, and wait. But, as I said earlier, you try and say to a driver, oh dear, the RM Concept boys are trading fastest laps. Oh dear. Nearly a repeat of what we saw earlier on. Barberou having a little nibble at the back bumper of David Maslakovitz. And now Christophe Capitan has just done exactly the same, but not in the terms of severity that we saw Antoine Barberou quite literally wallop into the right side rear as Maslakovitz gets a warning flag from race control. And along with that, Wim Houlot and David Maslakovitz both running with 54 at the end of their number. They've both got on the naughty step with race control. Slap on the wrist, black and white warning flag. Thank you, Hans-Gerd, for the wonderful WhatsApp message. Appreciate it, buddy. Gesehen, my friend. So, 5 minutes and 20 still to go, plus an additional lap. Len Noyes is doing himself is showing a really, really good turn of pace. And what's more, this young man is not featuring into the top 20 in the championship standings. Obviously now he's using this to get as much racing under his belt before Bahrain. Sometimes times are limited. Now Antoine Barberou is already racing on the Birolot that is going to be used at the Grand Finals. So when drivers have secured their tickets, sometimes what will happen, as we see a move, that is, as I mentioned, Barberou on the Birolot. Double B, there we go, a little bit of alliteration on a Saturday afternoon. Here we go. Right, they will test on the chassis that they will be using. Now, sometimes in previous years, when the Grand Finals have been very, very close to one-off events, such as the RMC Golden Trophy, also the US Trophy Finals that will be happening at Newcastle Speedway, the Newcastle Racing Complex in Indiana, just outside of the Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's an opportunity for the drivers to get up to speed on that chassis, find out its nuances, get an understanding of the car before you go into a big paddock in Bahrain. Your kart is raffled, your engine comes with the kart, and then you and your mechanic, over the course of a race week, have to make sure that kart gets you through to the final 36 on Grand Finals Day. Oh, right. Someone has just peeled into pit lane, and I've got a feeling that is Dmitry Ostrovsky. So Ostrowski will be out. Oh dear, it's not gone well for Mats today. Mats Johan Overhoff is also out of the race, I'm afraid. We are on we're now on lap number 14 of this race. So Mats Johan Overhoff retired on lap 9. And Dmitry Ostrowski looks to have done the same as well. Just not that long after. But at the front end of the field, Len Noyes now has a 1.8 second advantage over Gustav Uzakovs. David Maslakovic holding off a certain man by the name of Christophe Capitan, who is looking very, very racy indeed. So now it's a case of what happens in this race. And more to the point, how do you try and come back from it? But with a minute and 45 plus an additional lap remaining on the counter, it's the battle here. Antoine Barberou now gets through on countryman and teammate Christophe Capitan. He's really got that Birolart up to speed. And now has an opportunity to bag a big amount of points. If he finishes where he is, that'll be 49 points. For fourth position. But look, now the squabble starts. Maslakovic on the defensive, gets through on Uzakovs. Barberou waiting for his opportunity to springboard his way past. There's more battling going through into turn one, as I've just seen a wonderful around the outside slim shady overtake by Vincent Van Kalmthout. But it's Maslakovic. Uzakovs looking to the inside. Maslakovic closes him off. This could give Barberou the opportunity he needs. But just behind Christophe Capitan is Laurence Herboz. So now, put the Birolart cat amongst the DD2 pigeons, and you could expect Chinese fireworks to be set off rather spectacularly, rather shortly. 2 laps to go. Len Noyes has checked out. He's 3.7 seconds up the road. Uzakovs look for the move up the inside. Maslakovic able to anticipate and cover that window of opportunity off. And now, Maslakovic loses out. Not once, not twice, maybe thrice. No, he does. It's only 2 positions he's lost. But more to the point, Len Noyes, he's gone, right, see you, I'm making a break for the border. And he's already making his way through to the final couple of corners. And it's going to be last lap this time, lap 18. Underway, the final lap with Len Noyes, 4.2 seconds up the road. Barberou versus Uzakovs, down into turn 1. And Uzakovs holds his line with nerves of steel. But Len Noyes, he's already up the Europelan. He's about to hit the braking zone. They've handed it onto him again for a silver platter. But we've had dramas in the meantime. Vincent Van Kalmthout backwards. And that is his race, I think, done. But look at the man here from Belgium. I remember this young man running with the likes of Thomas Prening back at the inaugural international trophy under GKS. And now here we are in 2025, out of the final corner. It goes the way. Proficiat Len Noyes. Len Noyes wins by a country mile He could have escaped to Latvia at that point. Well, Len Noyes, convincing, commanding, and more importantly, dominant. The 417 for Shapers Racing BV, the Racing Service BV, wins after 18 laps. That's nearly 24.5 kilometers of racing. Ahead of Gustav Zuzakov's. Antoine Babaou rounds out the top three and keeps his title hopes alive. Ahead of David Maslakovitz, Lawrence Herboz, Wout Kerstens, Christophe Capitan, one step away from becoming DD2 Masters champion in 2025. And for the last 2 years, it's been Carl Clibaud, a multi-time champion in his own right. And following on from that, well, the rest of the finishers, Nicolas Guillaume, Ralph van der Pavert, Mathis Ankans, they round out the top 10. Axel Hoos, Kian de Brandt, Michael Becker, and Wim Hulot round out your finishers. 14 out of the 20 starters got to the line. Marco Drittenpreis, Vincent van Kerkhoven, Dimitri Ostrovsky, Mats-Johan Overhoff, Jakob Malamis, and Louis Koch, unfortunately retiring from the race. But, well, the DD2 and DD2 Masters race provided some spectacular overtaking prowess, including this move here for RM Concept Powers, Antoine Babaou, one of their very, very big talisman drivers, a great driver behind the wheel. And then, of course, you have to see his kart control battling away with Gustav Susakov's. But next up, we've got one more final to go after Len Noyes took victory. We've got this one and one more to go. Len Noyes, congratulations for winning the final. Next up, it's the Junior Rotax final here for day one of round 4. Last week at Paul Fletcher International, the home of British karting, the man that you are seeing on your screens in the 246, Jacob Ashcroft, took another title. Gets a handshake from Dad Barry, who's done really, really well. But he's been by his son's side. He's been on the tools. It truly is within that scope of a team atmosphere, a dad and lad combination that I have not, in my commentary career, seen the likes of within the world of karting. But it is a relationship that it's not just the familial bond, it is the bond of two people working together. And that is very, very crucial indeed. And there we see Noah Barham, the 213, just behind. There is the 286 of SP Motorsports, Lieke van Berkel from the Netherlands. Another exciting female young talent who I hope has success in the years to come. Not just in karting, but maybe further afield. But the biggest drama in the pre-final earlier on is the fact that Max Swiderski, whilst leading on lap 7, his kart broke down, engine failed to start, and puts him right at the back of the field. And as they say, motorsport giveth and motorsport taketh away. But there is a big bumper grid of these very, very highly motivated very, very competitive field that we are going to have very shortly on the grid. It's 35 drivers, and we will have a capacity grid for the seniors who are now sorting out in Parc Fermé in the tyre park area their tyres ready for their final, which will conclude the on-track action for the penultimate race day of the 2025 season. Our road to Bahrain concludes tomorrow, but the journey is not yet at its end. So 35 junior road tax drivers head out of the dummy grid ahead of their 12-minute plus an additional lap final. Let's take you through the starting order as Max Siderski exits the dummy grid. Jacob Ashcroft, the defending champion, will start from pole position. He will have Ryan Gandor from Canada alongside him on the front row. Row 2 will be an all-British row 2, Noah Barham and Kian Bernhard. Then we've got Lieke van Berkel and Theo Giluto. Row 4, Louis Radcliffe and Boris Verhaag. Bran van der Weyken and Callum Sims complete the top 10. Jente Moonen, Rory Armstrong, Eason Seng, Lars Lambers, Isaac Barker, Sebastian Chow-Clark, Vince van der Halle, Connor Large, Lucas Dorder and Luan Seidel round out your top 20. Mate Kobehidze starts 21st, ahead of Justin Fong, Sam Kohler, Riley Morgan, Sebastian Lersch, Daniel Hakkinen, Patrick Thorsby Askvik, Emil Siedkowska, Lionel Munguia, Corn Willems, Louis Bishop, Maj Tusek, Devrim Yates, Kais Aziza and Max Siderski. That is your 35 strong grid. Oh, but there is someone coming to a halt on the start-finish straight. Oh, no. Well, Kais Aziza slowed at the start-finish straight. And is trying to get the car going again, but I'm not too sure if it's going to be compliant in doing so. No. Kais Aziza is going to come to a halt, and the Swiss driver will be scored 35th with 2 points. And my heart goes out to these drivers that have these issues. You know, the mechanics, they're the unsung heroes in the karting paddock, along with the team bosses, along with the support networks. There is so much that goes on. The support networks these drivers have is absolutely sometimes astounding, and it's also humbling. Right, the red lights go to green. We're underway for the final, and it's being led by Jacob Ashcroft into turns 1 and 2. Ashcroft will keep the lead as drivers using the runoff area. Lieke van Berkel, I think, is... Oh, she's got herself up into third. Oh, very much shades of a certain other driver earlier on this weekend. Lieke van Berkel up from P5, now finds herself in third as Max Siderski starts his back to front challenge. So the drivers making their way through turn 6 and 7. Oh, there's been a coming together. Oh, coming together through at just before the end of sector number 2. One's been turned around and has ended up smacking into the barriers. I think it might be either Sam Kohler or Riley Morgan. And they didn't come through sector 2. But after the opening lap, Jacob... Oh, this drama, Mate Kobehidze has been punted at turn 12 in the right rear. And I've got every sort of sympathy for Kobehidze. When you get punted like that, the first thing you're going to do is saying, what the hell was that, sunshine? And now, at this moment, Jacob Ashcroft is leading in second position. Welcome to the front end of the field, Lieke van Berkel for SP Motorsport. Started P5 on the grid, and now she's ahead of Dan Holland Racing's Noah Barham. Ryan Gandor wearing the KR Sport whites. I still remember the days of Lockie Robinson and Sean Butcher wearing those a few years back. And now up the inside goes Noah Barham at turn number 12 to retake second position off of Lieke van Berkel. And now Van Berkel returns the favour through at turn 1. Ryan Gandor trying to get through at the same time. Is he going to try and get the crisscross? He's looking up the inside. Oh, he nearly clashes wheels with Barham through to turn 4. Or through turn 3. Ryan Gandor, oh dearie me, he nearly had a nibble at the right rear tyre of Noah Barham. And now again, it's all starting to concertina. Ryan Gandor sending it like he means it. And there's Bran van der Weyken. I think Louis Radcliffe's at the back end of this train. And now that's allowed Lieke van Berkel to get away into the distance. But Jacob Ashcroft, ninth in the standings coming into this round of the season. Was not with us at round 3 when was it? I'm trying to remember now. It's been a long year. 3 months and a week ago, as I've just seen Riley Morgan's cart being peeled away from the outside of turn number 7. So Sam Kohler got away. Riley Morgan did not. Max Swiderski started last, now P20. New fastest lap of the race by the 297 from SP Motorsport. And now there's still a lot of squabbling, a lot of 2 and 8s going on. Gandor's trying to think of every which way but loose at the minute, trying to get past Noah Barham, but Jacob Ashcroft has a comfortable 1.1 second lead in his pocket at the moment. Boris Verhaag now gets a warning flag from race control. Ryan Gandor trying to get through on Noah Barham. And Barham dives to the inside of Van Berkel. Gandor's going to try and get through. And there's Jente Moonen. Oh. On the Haas chassis. On the Haas chassis there. The 220 gets through. So more tales still to be told. It's kind of like the karting equivalent of a series back in the, I think it was the late 70s, early 80s, on UK TV called Tales of the Unexpected. This is the karting equivalent of it. Lars Lambers has just had a fall from grace, I'm afraid. Was 20th, now 27th. Vince van der Holle, in the meantime, is now up to 11th position. As behind, Bran van der Weyken. Well, he's in sec. Oh, there's been a little kick up the grass and dust coming out of turn 5. So someone's going to have a bit of a dusty left-hand side on their wagon. But here goes the 281. That's Louis Radcliffe through on Lieke van Berkel. Meantime, Ryan Gandor leading the charge of the Light Brigade. Or the charge of the Cavalry. Just waiting for someone to... nice to hear that Tracy, Lockie's mum, is watching. Tracy, hope you and David and Lockie and Jacob are keeping well. Yeah, I have to give a shout out. Those two, Sean and Lockie, they were like two brothers from different mothers. And like literally, they were like chalk and cheese, the Chuckle brothers, you know, whatever you want to call it. Two great people in the paddock, great competitors and a great asset to the team at KR Sport. Of course, Lachlan now running these days with Avia W&S Motorsport in ADAC GT4 Germany. partnering Oscar Christensen, and quite recently at the Red Bull Ring, they picked up their first victory. So congratulations to them. Of course, another driver that has been through the ranks of the BNL Karting Series, now racing this weekend at NLS in a GT3 car for the first time under a Nürburgring permit. Four-time Formula One world champion Max Verstappen in the Verstappen.com Ferrari 296 GT3 alongside Team Redline teammate who's made the transfer from sim to real, Chris Lullum. Vince van der Holle, new fastest lap of the race, 55.889. But Noah Barham trying to close down that gap to teammate Jacob Ashcroft. Conor Large has just been given a warning flag from race control. And still, we are not done yet. Okay, lead gap is now 8.5 tenths of a second. As here goes Bran van der Weyken up the inside of Jente Moonen. And there is Louis Radcliffe waiting in the wings to pick up the pieces. They've got to be very... Oh, what a clash between Moonen and Bran van der Weyken. Left front to right rear. Oh, and there's been dramas. What happened to Noah Barham? Oh dear, Noah Barham has dropped. Luan Seidel now gets a warning flag. So what on earth has happened to Noah Barham? Barham now is just in front of Radcliffe. So that has promoted Ryan Gandor. Radcliffe up the inside of Barham. Van der Weyken up the inside as well. Oh no, Van der Holle. So Noah Barham has dropped behind the driver that is currently leading the standings. And when you think about it, Vince van der Holle at the moment is currently running P5. Ah, that's another position lost by Noah Barham. Barham now 7th. Van der Holle now 5th. Max Swiderski, where is he at the moment? 13th. Ryan Gandor 2nd. Now, of course, there is always going to be those drop scores, and I'm going to be very, very honest. When we go into the final tomorrow, now the thing is, it's the best 6 out of 8 scores, if I remember correctly, via the sporting regulations, which I had to triple check twice. Effectively, with drop scores taken into consideration, this puts Jacob Ashcroft, I'm going to say this because I had a chat with his dad Barry, this puts him in championship contention, and more to the point, this could put him one step away from defending his BNL Karting Series title from last year. So we've got just over 1 minute and 20 to go, and Jacob Ashcroft is holding on to a lead that is close to 1.2 seconds. Noah Barham, I think, has just been given his wake-up juice and has started responding. So Callum Sims gets a warning flag from race control. So already out in this race. Oh, we've had 6 out. Kian Bernard, Louis Bishop, Patrick Askvik, Devrim Yater, Riley Morgan, and Kays Aziza. But it is going to be 2 laps to go. We're going to go to 14 laps on this Junior Rotax final, and who would have thought the story would have played out this way? Jacob Ashcroft on starting lap number 13 has nearly a 1.1 second advantage over KR Sports' Ryan Gandor. A little bit further back, Bran van der Weken is having to battle away with Noah Barham. Good to see Eason Seng getting his elbows out a little bit as well. Maybe Uncle Roger Young has helped him with that a little bit over in Chinese Taipei and the island of Taiwan, mainly because of the fact that the youngster in the 270 running with Strawberry Racing, coached by the only person to win Junior, Senior and DD2 in Grand Finals history, Mark Kimber. So the final lap is underway. 9/10 is the advantage. As now Vince van der Holle up into what is going to be P3. That's 50 points. And these are just provisional calculations. Where's Max Sidursky now? Oh, he's up to 12. So that's going to be another point up added to him. So if you take into consideration dropped scores, the person that's going to be leading the championship, when you take those drop scores into consideration and is on the verge of defending his title in Junior Rotax, Jacob Ashcroft is going to come from all the way back after a difficult recovery drive, and he's going to win the final. I cannot believe it. That is now win number 4 for Jacob Ashcroft this season. He won the day 1 final at the season opener back in March, finished second. Then he went and did the clean sweep at Marienborg. He wasn't with us for round 3, and there's a thumbs up. That man, I'm sorry, but whoever heads to Bahrain this year, this is the man you are going to have to beat. He is hands down the exponent of Junior Rotax this year. He wins the race after 14 laps by 9.5 of a second, ahead of Ryan Gandor, Jens Immonen, Vince van der Halle, Bran van der Weken, Noah Barham, Eason Seng rounds out the top 7. Boris Verhaag, Louis Radcliffe, Max Sidursky climbs 25 places from the rear of the field to 10th, ahead of Lieke van Berkel, Rory Armstrong, Sebastian Clark, Ruben Seidel, Connor Large, Mate Kobahidze, Lars Lambers, Callum Sims, Isaac Barker, Theo Gilito, Lucas Lauder, Justin Fonk, Maj Tusek, Sebastian Lersch, Koen Willems, Daniel Hakkinen, Lionel Munguia, Emily Siedkowska and Sam Kohler rounding out the 29 finishers. Kian Bernard, Louis Bishop, Patrick Askvik, Devrim Yater, Riley Morgan and Kais Aziz unfortunately retiring from the race. We're going to leave you at the moment with the highlights for the Junior Rotax Final 1 by the defending champion Jacob Ashcroft, and it puts a really different title picture into perspective tomorrow. But coming up next, we've got the last race of the penultimate day of the season. Coming up, it's the 15-minute plus an additional lap Senior Rotax Final for day 1. Don't touch that dial, you don't want to miss this. Ladies and gentlemen, here at the circuit and for those watching around the world, welcome to the main event of this afternoon. And I know I'm not going to try and do my best Michael Buffer impersonation, but let's bring a little bit of Rotax flair onto it, shall we? Up now is going to be a 36 driver capacity grid at the world famous and legendary Home of Champions circuit, Karting Genk in the Limburg region of Belgium. We have 36 out of the 38 drivers that have made it through to this part of the competition. The main exponents for our battle with regards to the title is one driver that is going to start from pole position. The other one starts from the outside of row number 5 in 10th. The driver on pole position, the current championship leader, coming into this round with a slender advantage. And that is 3 points. Tom Langlois on pole position. Macaulay Bishop 3 points behind him and is 9 places behind him on the grid. Of course, there will be some drivers that may be part of the story that plays out, not just today, but for tomorrow. And the atmosphere is filled with emotion, filled with passion, filled with anticipation, which you can cut through right now like a scalding hot knife through ice cold butter. So green flag waves at the end of the dummy grid. The drivers now head out onto the circuit for their 15 minutes plus an additional lap final. Also another driver to consider in this battle for the championship is the person that will start on the outside of row number 2. That is the USA's Charlie Smith. Here's your grid. Tom Langlois, Teresa Babichkova on the front row. Tino Sidler and Charlie Smith on row 2. Cameron Nelson and Mateo Radenkovic line up on row 3. Sasha Aim and Lewis Goff, row 4. Sebastian Koch and Macaulay Bishop, row 5. Bastian Mesnil, Jort van Wijk, Boris Maximov, Trofim Krotov, Thijs van Wijk, Romans Rodianovs, Louis Weaver, Sverre Ubben, Ollie Jonkers and Pablo Estevez round out your top 20. Lloyd Hare, Thomas Verheyen, Lex Quintans, Christopher Holst, Ryan Bourguignon, Ollie Wise, Lado Kouanice, Arnaud Sabarin, Dante Sima, Tino Potier, Enzo Zani, Theo Eriksson, Rein van der Meer, Joe Gethin, Alex Adams-Acton, Louis Le Rigoleur, Johannes Nyberg, and Louis Le Rigoleur being the last. Unfortunately, Johannes Nyberg and Molly Griffiths unable to make it through to the top 36. So after this race, we'll eat, sleep, rinse, repeat, and get ready for Championship Sunday. I've got a lot of points calculating to do on my spreadsheet, I can tell you that much. So after this transmission is ended, I'm back on the laptop, back on the keyboard. However, 3 points at that moment coming into this, into the pre-final side of things. Well, who knows what might happen when we get underway right here, right now. So the drivers will now round the final corner. The revs are going to rise, the red lights. Will they go out? They have done, they have put them under full start. Ah, right, it was a full start. I did hear someone skidding on their Mojo D5s, which were calling out for blue murder once the brakes were applied. So, full start has been called. And it is going to be the case now. To finish first. First you must finish. That is important for all of these drivers. All 36 of them. Ready to go into battle for the penultimate time in this championship year for 2025. So it's going to be Langlois, Babičková, Sidler, Smith, Nelson, Radenkovic, Aim, Goff, Koch and Bishop. That is your top 10. Emerson, McAndrew, Ewan on cue. Welcome along. So let's see. Do we go revs up and lights out? Second time of asking as the sun bathes the circuit in wonderful Saturday afternoon sunshine. Red lights on the gantry. Here we go, it's second time of asking, and the final is green. We're underway. It's the whole shot run down to turn number 1. Oh, there's a big off in the background. That is the 362. Roman Srodionov, so there's more karts scattered. 323 is one of them. 323, Ryan Bourguignon. So it is going to be the case of who is going to be leading the way. At the moment, it looks like it could be a certain driver by the name of, I think it's Teresa Babičková that is leading this race. And with that, I do not have a crystal ball. I don't have a sixth sense. But Teresa Babičková has got the race lead. Matej Radenkovic up into second. Charlie Smith, I think, is now P3. They come across the line, and that is the case. And what has happened? The big thing is, where is Tom Langlois? Down to 5th place. Macaulay Bishop is only 2 spots away from him. So now we have a real dynamic championship battle on our hands. Langlois versus Bishop. But don't forget about Charlie Smith. No, no, no. The man representing the Star-Spangled Banner will give everything to try and become the second driver in BNL Karting Series history since countryman Oliver Askew performed the same feat 10 years ago this weekend. And now, here we go. Bishop's got through. Bishop is through on Langlois. And now the championship fight truly begins. Lewis Goff is there for close company. But at the sharp end of the field, Teresa Babičková. All this dramas for the 329. And that's Pablo Esteves for RM Concept Power. Oh, but dearie, dearie me. Matej Radenkovic tried to put the frighteners on Teresa Babičková, and by goodness, she was having absolutely none of it. Babičková is here to make an impression, and she's here to make a statement. I've commentated on a few, and she's just got a warning flag for the hip check on Matej Radenkovic. Teresa Babičková, along with 2-time European Senior Rotax champion in 2019 and 2020, Sweden's Matilda Olsson. Those are 2 drivers that have very much been I've gotten to know them as friends, but also very stern competitors. And now Radenkovic gets through. Radenkovic gets through for the race lead. Charlie Smith trying to get the side draft. Oh, a little bit of a touch between second and third position. So now it is a case of how does this race pan out? Well, Macaulay Bishop has just got, well, he's got through on Langlois, but he's also put a competitor in front of him. So Tom Langlois is going to have to fight. Macaulay Bishop now runs in 5th position. That's 48 points. Tom Langlois at the moment is currently P7. Oh no! Oh, we've had further dramas. 350 and 385 have just been off. Enzo Zani and Lado Guanidze. All I'm going to say is now, fireworks, anybody? I would say probably inbound shortly. And Lado Guanidze, up until this point, was running 5th in the championship standings. So, Boris Maximov gets a warning flag. There goes Tino Sidler on Charlie Smith. And now Macaulay Bishop has a line of sight. He's got several drivers to get through on. And at the moment, oh right, so yeah, Enzo Zani has pulled into pit lane, bumped over the curbs. But with 9 minutes and 50 seconds, plus an additional lap at the minute, the gap between Macaulay Bishop and Tom Langlois, before drop scores are considered, is 1 point. Charlie Smith now back up into P3. Bishop's trying to get through. Langlois is there. Oh, and there's one of the Van Vikes in the middle of all of that. That's Yort. That's Macaulay Bishop's teammates. So now, forget the mixed martial arts. It's bare knuckle fighting at the minute with the way things are going. Because now, with Macaulay Bishop dropping to piece. Oh, right, okay. So Tom Langlois currently in 7th position, 46 points. If Macaulay Bishop gains another 2 positions, gets up to P4, that will put them dead level. But not taking into consideration drop scores. But of course, we'll adjust for that, ready for tomorrow's grand finale. And now, here we go, up the inside. Today's the Babičkova retakes the race lead as we conclude lap 7. Charlie Smith holding station. The American still holding on to that 3rd place within a finger thread. And now, can he go for 2nd? The answer is yes. Radenkovic runs wide. Here comes Tino Sidler. Charlie Smith now up into 2nd. Ahead of the man from Switzerland who follows him through, who follows through past him. Well, this is really showcasing what depth and breadth of a senior Rotax division we have that is alive and well in the world of Rotax racing. And we ain't done yet. We're halfway through the race. 7.5 minutes to go. Plus an additional lap, and it's all kicking off from every single direction. Up, down, left, right, here, there, everywhere. In the words, well, if anyone might remember the old Clint Eastwood movie, it's every which way but loose, or in this case, every which way you can was the sequel. Ryan Bourguignon now has the fastest lap of the race in the pocket, 54.811. And still the deadlock remains. Oh, and that's going to be one of the GMS Motorsport karts coming in the pits. I think that is going to be Louis Weaver in the 389. His race, unfortunately, is done and dusted. But still, the battles rage on. Sverre Ubben, in the meantime, has just gotten past Tom Longnoir, who's now dropped down to 8th. Sverre Ubben has been absolutely charging up the order. That is now a second black and white warning flag for Boris Maximov. But here goes Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith now with Teresa Babičková. Can the American finally get a win under his belt this year in the BNL Karting Series? Looking at his results, the first final, he placed 5th. The following 3, P8. Then the last round at Genk, P6 twice. He now has an opportunity to go for the W. Kart 311 has just been given a black and white warning flag. Switzerland's Christopher Holst. And now Charlie Smith to the inside. And the American leads. The American. Charlie Smith makes it to the front end of the field and leads the final. About time. It was worth the wait. Well over 6 months, nearly 7, and Charlie Smith on cue with around about 5¼ minutes remaining on the timer. Manages to get his way through on Teresa Babičková and take the race lead. But look who's behind her. Matej Radenkovic, Jort van Wyk and Macaulay Bishop. But still, the battle lines, they were drawn at this point. The war is still incomplete. That will conclude tomorrow afternoon at around about the same time, same place. Teresa Babičková trying to do what she can to get a move past on Charlie Smith, who took the lead away from her just 1 lap ago. Smith defensive to the inside at turn number 6. But there's still a window of opportunity. There's still 4 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. Babičková knows that she's got time to facilitate that, but a dive bomb and a half. Oh my goodness. That was Macaulay Bishop. Bishop through on Radenkovic. That now means that Macaulay Bishop goes up to P3, and that is effectively 50 points. And by my provisional calculations, that's going to put him, I think, maybe as the championship leader, but Tom Longnoir, he's not giving up. The Frenchman for Dams Racing, he is still there or thereabouts. And more to the point, can Charlie Smith, more importantly, hang on? This is going to feel like an eternity for the man from the USA. Running with Strawberry Racing, coached by Grand Finals and World Karting Champion Callum Bradshaw. And Babičková look for the move up the inside of turn 12. This is going to allow Macaulay Bishop. Bishop got through by a whisker. Mamma mia, mercy, mercy me. Wow. Incredible stuff there. Macaulay Bishop. Now think of this. Bishop won both rounds, both finals here last time out at Genk. And now there is an opportunity. But Charlie Smith is powering away. Babičková is going to get through here at turn 6. Radenkovic is trying to go through. Oh, Radenkovic on the grass. Oh, Radenkovic deep into turn 7 and then went off at turn 8. Oh dear. Matej Radenkovic was doing oh so well. But the big thing is, the bigger picture, Charlie Smith is trying to hang on. He's got a lead now. His lead over today's Babičkova is 5.5 tenths of a second. Macaulay Bishop now P3. That's 50 points. Tom Longlois has now gone up to 5th. One point between them. 1 point before we take drop scores into consideration. Then it's a very, very different picture. But more to the point, how close do you want it? You want a championship to run all the way to the last checkered flag, the last race of the season. But Charlie Smith has got 3 laps remaining. And he leads still by nearly half a second. But the big question now is, Tino Sidler might be playing a little bit. He might play the team game here. He is under the same awning now as Macaulay Bishop. So whether you decide to say to Tino, right, you've already got your ticket, but we want Macaulay to go for the title. The big thing is, there could be a bone of contention with that because Tino Sidler, at the moment, is in contention for the title. But more to the point, how are things going to evolve? Right, 2 laps to go. Tom Longlois now ahead of Tino Sidler. That puts him back up to 4th. And it's going to be 2 laps remaining. Charlie Smith, the man from the United States of America, from Strawberry Racing. This will be a career-defining moment coming out of the United States. And now, here goes Macaulay Bishop. He's up to 2nd. Now the dogfight behind Charlie Smith begins. This is going to give the American the victory. But at the moment, Macaulay Bishop now into P2. And that's important. The timer hit 0 because now, where is Tom Longlois? There he is in 4th. This puts Bishop and Longlois on 356 points apiece. Level on, it's like Hamilton and Verstappen. Final lap underway. And what Tom Longlois needs to do to have a fraction of a psychological advantage going into tomorrow is to be able to pass and stay ahead of today's Babičkova. But she now is the person that stands between Longlois and Bishop. Charlie Smith is going to run away with this one, but it's also about what is happening behind. Because Charlie Smith, finally, the wait is over for the American. The Star-Spangled Banner will be held up on high by his family. Charlie Smith finally wins in BNL Karting Series history. 2nd is today's Babičkova. Macaulay Bishop ends up P3. Tom Longlois ends up 4th. And with that, the gap shrinks. Let me put you in the picture, ladies and gentlemen. With Macaulay Bishop finishing behind winner Charlie Smith, that man finally gets what he deserves. He's been chomping at the bit for a race victory, and that man deserves it. The man from Strawberry Racing, from the US of A, Charlie Smith, does the business and wins ahead of today's Babičkova by nearly 1.7 seconds. Macaulay Bishop finds himself just 2 points behind chief rival and the man who continues to be the championship leader, Tom Longlois, in 4th. Tino Sidler still within a mathematical opportunity of winning this title tomorrow. Rounds out your top 5. Sverre Ubben, Matej Radenkovic, Boris Maximov, Jort van Wijk, Sebastian Koch, Ollie Wise, Sasha Aim, Cameron Nelson, Lewis Goff, Lloyd Hare, Trofim Krotov, Bastian Mesnil, Christopher Holtz, Thomas Verheyen, Lex Quintans, Lado Koenice, Ryan Bourguignon, Joe Gethin, Tino Potier, Romans Rodinovs, Dante Sima, Alex Adams-Acton, Louis Le Rigoleur and Ollie Yonkers ran out the finishers. Romans Rodinovs having a big old off when we went into the start after the initial full start earlier on. We lost Arnold Sabarin, Thijs van Wijk, Louis Weaver, Enzo Zani, Theo Eriksson, Pablo Estevez and Lane van der Meer. Multiple incidents over the course of this race. But you know what? It was touch and go as to what was going to happen for this weekend. And I cannot believe I'm going to say this to you all. But more to the point, we will very shortly bring my face for radio on screen in a moment. Because, you know, I want to recap the day. It's been highly charged. It's been emotional. But more to the point, it is going to be the case of where, you know, I could talk about this race again. It was enthralling. It was captivating. It had everything you wanted in a race. But more to the point, it was the case of who was going to be top dog. And that brilliant move there by Macaulay Bishop shows the skills of that young man there from Hoddesdon. 2 for the price of 1. But then Charlie Smith got that lifeline. And he went, you know what? I'm going to grab this by both hands. And the American finally wins here in the BNL Karting Series after a season-long trip. So, to sum up, Day 1 is in the books. Day 2, tomorrow, is Championship Sunday. We crown our 2025 BNL Karting Series champions. We give away 5 tickets for the prestigious and annually run Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals that will take place between the 29th of November and the 6th of December in the Persian Gulf at the Bahrain International Karting Circuit. I really have to say this. This has been one of the most exciting season finales I've ever commentated on the BNL Karting Series in my 8 years of being with this championship. Tomorrow, we take into a consideration of drop scores. We then see who are going to be the drivers that are up for getting that title, because the drop scores will play into how things transpire. And by looking by what I've already seen, things look rather different than they appear right now. As they say, appearances can be deceptive. But tomorrow morning, join us for the qualifying heats, the pre-finals, and altogether, the season finales for the finals at the end of tomorrow, when you join us from around about mid-morning here on the BNL Karting Series YouTube channel and, of course, the BNL Karting Series Facebook channel. A big thank you to everybody here today. Our streaming partners, WFR Live TV, fantastic job. Our race director, Manuel Branco, and his team, live timing, race control, stewarding, administration, the marshalling crew, the ambulance crew, the recovery crew, all the teams, drivers, everyone else behind the scenes, all the families that are here as well supporting the drivers, no matter what age they are. And we want to thank you for your support over the course of this season, because tomorrow, only one driver can win a ticket out of the 5, and only one driver tomorrow can be champion. Until tomorrow, well, bonne nuit, à demain, see you in the morning.